Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Pedestal Society. My name is Braille. I'm going to wait for everyone to get in from Instagram to YouTube. Instagram, I'm gonna give you a warning right off the bat that Instagram will cut the live after 10 to 15 minutes. I do not know what's going on. I am trying to fix it. I have not heard anything back from Instagram of why they don't like me going live on this page. So we're going to try to work that out. But you need to be aware it may cut off after 10 to 15 minutes going live. The link to the live stream is in my stories. It will take you over to YouTube where there's no issues with YouTube. So I'm going to go and make sure that we're filling up. Are we coming in from Instagram and YouTube? Welcome, Pedestal Wives and Inner Circle members. We want to talk about ways to challenge and update your illogical man. I'm going to do, if you haven't heard about my series on YouTube, but I've been talking about the illogical man, I'm going to talk about what that is. The illogical man is a man who cares for you deeply. All of us at one point, we have either experienced the illogical man where he was willing to do anything and everything to make sure that we're good. Maybe if you even pointed to something that you wanted, he would immediately go get it. Or maybe if you were calling him, he picked up immediately. All of us have experienced men being illogical about us. The thing is, maybe we fumbled the bag, maybe we found out we weren't compatible, maybe we figured out it wasn't going to work. But that is what the illogical man is, because it is illogical for a man to get married in this day and age. But if a man is illogical, excuse me, it's not logical for a man to get married in this day and age. If a man becomes illogical about us, he's willing to take that risk. So that is the illogical man. I've been doing a lot of work on YouTube about the illogical man. I've talked about how to make him feel. I've talked about how to care for one of these men, because some of us fumble these men because we don't know how to care for one. Today, we're going to talk about ways to challenge and update your illogical man. So I'm waiting on YouTube. I just need someone to make sure that you can see and hear me, that the audio is great before I start getting into the topic and the conversation today. So that is me catching you up to what we've been talking about so far. We've been talking about how to make him illogical. We've been talking about how to care for the illogical man. Today, we're going to talk about how to challenge and update your illogical man. Now, I'm going to go ahead and press say that most of us have experienced a man at this level, at this stage in the first place, because in the very beginning, most women, when I have clients incoming, and we have a conversation about their relationship or the commitment or marriage or whatever they have going on. Every one of them have experience where the man is pursuing them, where the man, all they had to do was mention something, he was willing to go get it, or he was jumping through hoops in order to pursue this woman, but then he started to fall back. And so I have created this series on YouTube where I'm encouraging you to date that type of man and marry that type of man, and how to keep it going long term. Some of you don't know me, maybe you're new to my page. I realize I have a lot of new followers on YouTube. I don't know about Instagram, but YouTube definitely. And some of you don't know anything about me. My name is Brill. I've been married for 23 years. I'm married to a God that provides for me and my kids, our kids, because they're all his kids. So I've been married for 23 years. So I have a lot of experience and insight into being with the illogical man and what that looks like, and how do you care for one, and how do you challenge one, how do you have it continuously instead of having that brief moment in the very beginning of the relationship where everything is going good and he's seeing him pursuing you, and then you find that he falls back. So let's talk about challenging him, because that's important. Hey, Key 888. Hello, I can see you and hear you. Thank you, love. I needed that confirmation before we jump into the topic. First of all, the information on social media is trash. It sucks because it's not teaching you how to truly challenge a man. You do not challenge a man by being disagreeable just to be disagreeable. You do not be aloof just to be aloof. Aloofness and disinterest just causes confusion. Those things do not challenge a man. You do not challenge a man by making fun of him and mocking him. All of that information is straight trash. As someone who has been able to keep this going for 23 years, I think I know a little something about this. And I can tell you, you do not challenge a man in the way that I'm seeing on social media. I see so many videos popping up, and all of them are destructive. All of them will not lead to that healthy, happy, divine union that you desire. If you want to be in a relationship with that man, is pursuing you, romancing you, is illogical about you. He's focused on you. He cares about you. He's doing any and everything to make sure that your life is good. He's adding value to your life. Then you don't want to do what you hear on social media. You don't want to be aloof just to be aloof. You don't want to be disinterested just to be disinterested. You don't want to be mocking and making fun of him just to keep it spicy, is what I heard. But that's not true. You can't keep something going. That's really unhealthy behavior. And that unhealthy behavior is going to get you with an unhealthy man. So let's talk about what really works. How do you keep that challenge going? How do you keep challenging that man and updating your illogical man? First of all, the weird thing about this is that you don't, is the focus is not on him in order to challenge him. You have to challenge yourself. You have to challenge yourself to grow, learn, and embody. Every single year since I've been the age of 25 years old, I always choose a couple things that I want to grow and learn and embody. And maybe I might want to focus in on education. I might want to learn a little bit more. I might want to study a little bit harder. Or I might want to focus in on beauty, and I might want to upgrade my fashion, or I might want to upgrade my makeup, or I might want to upgrade my hair. Or maybe I want to focus in on my self-worth, and I want to make sure that everything is going correctly internally, that I feel good about myself, that my self-esteem or my self-confidence is high. Or maybe I want to focus in on communication and learning how to talk, and so that we can have conversation instead of disagreement. Or maybe I will learn how to become more intimate and increase our sexual attraction. Every single year, I figure out something that I want to grow and learn and embody. And I suggest that you do this also. The reason for this, the more that you're focusing in on these things that really light you up, that the things that's going to help you grow and evolve and learn and grow as a woman, these things light you up. These things also attract men. These things also bring him closer. These things also update him. And if you don't know what updating him is the middle ground between influence and update. This is before you get to the level of you're influencing him. Now you're just updating him. I'm speaking from a place of in the very beginning. Of course, I've been doing better about adding in some marriage content. So you ladies who are actually married will actually benefit from my content also. But you are gonna, in order to challenge him, you need to challenge yourself. And that's the kicker. Most people are trying to challenge the God. That's the reason why you're coming up with these weird things of mocking him and making fun of him and just being disagreeable, just to be disagreeable, just being aloof and not interested. Those things don't work unless you desire an unhealthy man. If you want an unhealthy man, those techniques, tactics will work. And that will challenge an unhealthy man. And he will begin to pursue you. But if you are more interested in like healthy divine union, more healthy commitment, more healthy love, then you want to make sure that you're challenging him by challenging yourself. Because it's in challenging yourself that you challenge him and you update him. And updating him is him noticing that you are embodied and growing and upgrading your beauty, embodied and growing and you're upgrading your self-worth, embodied and growing and you're upgrading your communication, embodied and growing and you're updating your sexual intimacy and attraction. These things light you up and it's very noticeable. It's very attractive. So men don't operate like women. Women like to communicate their updates. We like to go to our best girlfriends and we like to say, hey, look at my hair. I'm thinking about getting my hair changed. What do you think? What about this color? What about auburn? What about black? We think we can do the same thing with men. And we try to do it in that manner and they're not as interested. But if you update a man through observation, which is the best way to update a man, by him seeing you being embodied and growing in your beauty, or being embodied and growing and learning how to communicate, or being embodied and growing in your spirituality. He sees these things and he's updated. Then when he's going through that updating, he's like, oh, well, now she's becoming more spiritual. Now she's upgrading her looks. Now she's changing her fashion. Now she's getting more educated. Now she knows so much and has so much information and knowledge. These things update him a whole lot better than you trying to communicate it like you do with your best girlfriend. And that comes to my next thing. Stop treating your guy like your best girlfriend, because they are not the same. They should not be the same. I always cringe inward when I hear women talking about, oh, he's my best friend. Well, the thing is, if he's your best friend, this means you don't give him any space to pursue you. He already knows everything. So you're on the phone constantly, you're texting him, you're letting him know everything that's constantly going on. You don't give him an opportunity to observe. And men need that space so that they can pursue. You have to give them something to observe. So if you're not deciding, you don't want to grow, you don't want to learn, you don't want to embody, there's nothing to observe. You're giving them nothing to look at. You're giving them nothing to observe about you. Matter of fact, they tune out because there's nothing to get from you. There's nothing to receive from you. And so you want to make sure you don't treat your man like your best girlfriend. Am I saying that he shouldn't be your friend? Absolutely not. I do believe he should be your friend. I think him having the foundation of being your friend is highly important, but I wouldn't put him in the category as my best girlfriend. I would put him in the category where I'm going to call her and complain about something on how my hair looks, or how, what Nikki's over there doing with her girlfriends, or Nikki's over there doing with her man. I wouldn't put my man, my husband, in that category, because that doesn't give him the space to pursue. You always need to make sure you leave that space so he can pursue you. You want to be so focused on becoming, growing, learning, and embodying that he has that space so he can see that you're doing these things and he gets updated by it. Then he sees what you like, where you like to go, what you're doing. He gets to see this in real time versus you telling him. Men learn better if they observe it versus you turn him into your best girlfriend. So leave that space for him to be that, versus be your husband versus being your best girlfriend. Keep your own high standards. I don't care if you've been together for 10, 15, 20 years. I'm not sure what's going on and I don't like it. Because the more that I see this conversation being had, women, before they got married, they were into, looking nice, smelling good, having their hair done, carrying themselves in a particular way. Now that they're married, now that they are married, now they're refusing to wash their butts. Now you got women refusing to wash their butt, refusing to change their clothes, refusing to even focus on any type of beauty. And that to me is wild. So the high standard that you had while you're dating him, why are you falling back? Like, you're not challenging him by falling back. You're not challenging him by taking less than. You're not challenging him at all when you do that. So why are you refusing to wash your butt? Go wash your butt. Make sure your butt is clean. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. The high standard that you had to smell good, you had to be clean, you had to have nice hair, you had to be dressed up, you want your beauty to be on display. Now, since you're in that commitment, now that you are, y'all are together, you're not giving him that space to pursue anymore because you decide, I'm not going to wash my butt anymore. Like, this is wow. This is unbelievable. I think that, my grandmother's gone. She passed on. She's already went on. And I think it will blow her mind to realize there's women on the internet who talk about not washing their butts and talk about how men still chase them and still pursue them. And I'm like, that is not what you think it is. Keep the same high standards that you had when you were dating prior. Don't fall back. Don't start deciding you're not going to wash your butt. You're not going to care about your beauty. You're not going to care about your looks. You're not going to care about your high standards. Now, at one point, you were going to 5-star restaurants. Now y'all going to Chuck E. Cheese. Like, where's the standards at, sis? How can he pursue when there's nothing to pursue? You have to give this man a space to pursue you if you want to continue to keep him illogical. You want him to continue to be caring deeply and chasing you and romancing you and taking care of you in the manner that you are accustomed to, or the manner that you desire to be taken care of. Why would you fall back on standards? So why are you deciding, I'm not going to brush my cheek no more. I'm not going to wash my booty no more. Okay. Clean booties matter. Clean booties matter. So I'm not sure what this is. I would like it to go away because you want him to treat you accordingly, right? You want him to be illogical about you, right? You want him to bring you home flowers. You want and have romantic dates with you. But you falling back on your standards? You falling back on your standards? Now your booty stink. Your teeth stink. Your breath stink. Your hair a mess. Like, you really want him to act like nothing's changed. You really want him to act like you're not giving him anything to pursue anymore, because you aren't. You have to give a man space to pursue you. So clean booties matter. Hashtag clean booties matter. Because I'm over that. That's the most silliest, dumbest trend that I've ever seen in my life. Just because a man will doesn't mean it makes sense. Doesn't mean it is the type of level of relationship that you desire. Your standards still matter. At one point, you used to go to the hottest restaurants in town. Now you are going to Chipotle. Now you are going to Sonic. Now you are spending your time at Chuck E. Cheese. Now you are Netflix and chilling. But you want to be a challenge? You're not a challenge, sis. You became average real quick. You became average real quick. There's nothing to pursue. There's nothing to observe. Only thing he can observe is now my wife doesn't wash her booty. Now my wife doesn't brush her teeth. Now my wife walks around with night clothes on all day. Now my wife doesn't even put on shoes. She's walking around with house shoes everywhere. Where are your standards? Just because you're in a relationship, your standards still matter. He's observing these things and he's checked on out. Yes, will men have sex with you? Is this the point of the relationship, to have sex? Because anybody can have sex. Dogs have sex. Animals have sex. A relationship that is divine union, a healthy relationship requires more. It's not just about getting laid. And yes, men will lay down with dirty booties. We already know this. But you want to be romanced. You want to be treated. You want him to come home with flowers. You want him to plan dates. You want him to take you on luxury vacations. What is he pursuing? Dirty booty. Like, he's literally pursuing dirty booty. And then you're like, oh, he should be, he whatever he, like, whatever, I can't even remember the expression that y'all are using, but it's dumb. It's absolutely dumb. Keep your standards high. You went in wearing heels, taking care of your beauty, going to an esthetician, making sure your clothes were fashion forward. You went in with all these things to attract this man. Now you out here with dirty booty. Girl, if you don't go ahead and raise those standards back up, if you want to challenge a man, in order to challenge a man, it's about challenging yourself. That's how you truly challenge a man. You challenge him by challenging yourself. And through challenging him, you update him also. Then he gets to saying or thinking, well, my wife has high standards. She likes to go to these particular places. She likes to go out to restaurants. She likes to go shopping. She likes to, get knowledge. She likes to be embodied. These are the things you can update your man with versus the other. So keep your standards high. Know what you want. Know what you want. Know what you want. Constantly asking a man, what do you want? Just indicates you don't know what you want. And you want to challenge him? You want to be the girl that's different? There's nothing different about that question. Majority of women don't know what they want. And since they don't know what they want, they can't even give him a simple, hey, I want seafood for dinner, or I want steak for lunch, or I want to go out to here for breakfast. Know what you want. Stop asking a man, what do you want? Even if you don't truly have an idea of the name of the restaurant, you can be like, well, right now I'm feeling some Chinese. Maybe we can go to that new Chinese restaurant that just opened up. That is actually truly being a challenge because majority of women do not know what they want. Men are used to dealing with women that don't know what they want. I think the running joke here, if there's any men, they can probably chime in also. If the running joke is that most times women don't know what they want to eat. I want you to be different. You want to be a challenge? You want to be different? You want to be unique? Then you need to know what you want. You need to make a decision. You need to decide, I want Chinese, I want Italian, I want a steak dinner. Tell that man what you want. Like, stop not telling him what you want. Like, know what you want. And it's going to be applied across the board. Please know what you want. Life is so much easier. And it's easier for you to figure out what you want to grow, learn, and embody when you know what you want. When you don't know what you want, you kind of like throwing spaghetti at the wall. You're trying to figure out which is going to work. The best thing to do is to figure out what resonates with you. Every single year, I pick a couple of things that I want to learn and embody, and I go with it. I get invested in it. I absorb all of the information. I do all of the things so that I can grow and learn and embody in that thing, whatever I've chosen for that year. And I suggest you choose some things, because if there's nothing going on with you, there's nothing to observe. There's no space for him to pursue. If there's nothing going on, if you have nothing going on, if you don't have a life, if you're not doing things to improve your life, and if you're not doing anything to add value to your life, if you're not taking this life for what it is meant to be, which is to grow, learn, and embody and become a better woman, then you're not doing anything to challenge anybody. And you're just like majority. Like you're like the majority instead of the minority, instead of like the unique woman that you want to be. If you truly want to be a challenge, then you need to get invested into growing and learning and embodying something, and instead of being like everybody else, because everybody else is taken. Be yourself. Like I don't even know. Sometimes y'all know what I've done now. I stopped kind of following so many pages on social media. If you follow me, you already know I hardly even follow anybody, and there's a reason for that. Because there's too many people that want to be like other people. They want to emulate other people, and so that it's just other people just emulating that other person, and it just keeps going on and on and on. And so all of that to me is not interesting. It's not interesting to date a copy. I would rather than they date the unique person, the person who knows who they are, the person who is themselves, the person who is not trying to emulate someone else. If you want to challenge a man, and this is an easy thing to do in this day and age because everybody's trying to be like everybody else. Everybody is trying to do what everybody else is doing. Everybody's trying to go everywhere everybody else is trying to go. I really want to go strange places. I want to go to Montana. I want to go to Utah. I want to go to strange places where everybody isn't at because these things interest me. You should be trying to be yourself and not everybody else because everybody else is taken. The more that you try to emulate other people, the more that you come off as a copy and a paste. And the more that you do that, the less challenging you will become. Because what is there to learn about you? There's nothing to learn. Not only on top of being dirty booty, only top of not having your own identity, only top of not being able to grow and learn and embody anything, you're not being anything else. That's most people, even it comes down to even when you go on social media, majority of women look alike now. They're not even unique anymore. And that's scary. It's almost like the Stepford Wives all over again. Like that's the movie. If you haven't seen Stepford Wives, I ain't gonna say go see it because I'm not saying it's such a great movie. I'm just saying it's a good example of what's currently going on, where everybody's trying to be somebody else instead of themselves. So there isn't a challenge in you being a copy and paste, but there is a challenge when you're being yourself, when you're uniquely being who you are meant to be, who you are, and becoming a better woman for it. This is a challenge because then he comes across a woman. Oh, she want to go over here? I ain't even never heard of a woman who wanted to go visit Montana. I ain't even heard of a woman who actually listens to Mozart. I ain't even heard of a woman who likes to go spend times in art galleries. I ain't even heard or experienced a woman who even speaks like her. I ain't even heard or experienced a woman who even carries herself like that. But if you get caught up in this echo chamber and start copying everything that you see, you lose your uniqueness and you lose the ability to challenge him. When you challenge him, this is where you update him. This is where he learns because men don't get updated based off communication. And I think all of us as women can attest to that. You can tell your man, hey, I'm going to go do this about my hair, or I'm going to go and change it, update my wardrobe, or hey, I want to try here. A lot of times that get lost in translation because a lot of men are about action and observation. They observe the update. They observe you living your life and becoming a better woman and growing, learning, and embodying the things that you're focused in on, and then they get updated by that. Now they realize, oh, I got a woman who is very knowledgeable. Oh, I got a woman who is very fashion forward. I have a woman who changes her hair every week. Oh, I have a woman who's updated her makeup. These things, they observe it and they get updated by it. So that's what I mean when I say update. Like this is the space between before you get to the level of influence, because influence takes time. It takes time, it takes care, it takes trust, and it takes love. And since it takes all of that in order for influence to happen for you, updating is the best that I can get you to. And see, updating is you being so wholly invested and focusing on yourself and focusing on growing, learning, and embodying the things that interest you and things that light you up. This is how you're truly going to challenge him, because then he's going to see you changing the way that you live, or changing the way that you eat, or exercise a little bit more, and he gets updated a little bit more about you. But if there's nothing going on, there's nothing to update. There's nothing to observe. If there's no change happening, and see, this is what happens to long-term marriage and commitment. You all get stuck in being comfortable. And there's nothing wrong with comfortable, because yes, is there a period in marriage where there's like a level of comfortability where you get to know each other to a certain level? But there's a problem when it's going like this. And I would say like the ocean, where it's up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. You're trying to figure out how to challenge him, but you're doing it in a way where it's not keeping you all stable. It's not keeping you all when y'all are together and creating that intimacy and emotional connection desired for long-term commitment and divine union. But what marriage truly looks like, and this is coming from one who's already married 23 years, marriage truly looks like this. It's going up. It's always going up. But then it may drop a little bit. The drop may be because of death in the family. Then it's going to go back up, and then it may drop a little bit. And that may be because maybe a loss of income. Then it may go back up, and that may be because of, mental health or some other issues happening within the marriage. But marriage should always be consistently, regardless of the things that happen, should consistently be going up. It should consistently get better. Sex should get better. Intimacy should get deeper. Connection should get deeper. You all's attunement should get better. You should have less agreements as you continue to go, having more time together to deepen those things. So marriage should continuously go up regardless of the pitfalls that happen, the things that happen naturally. I'm not talking about y'all cheating on each other now. I ain't talking about that. Okay. You're not going to get the results that you desire when y'all are having like cheating and disrespecting any type of abuse. Eliminate that, because that's not a normal part of marriage. That's a part of marriage that should not exist. That's things that are happening in people's marriage that should not exist. It is not normal. The normal things that happen are like deaths, income changes, maybe mental health or depression or some things like that you can't control. Things out of your control. But marriage should still continuously get more juicier, more intimate, more special, more attunement, more harmony, less disagreement. It should get better and better and better. It should get deeper and deeper and deeper. So let me see here what people are saying. Ooh, we doing better than normal for Instagram. Usually just cuts off. Let's see what we have on YouTube. Take a pause for a second. There's a trend on TikTok about it. Before versus after finding a boyfriend, it seems like women fall into the comfort zone mode and forget about seduction and attraction. And see, that's the thing. When you forget all about that, you don't give them a space to pursue. There has to be something to pursue. Women think that men should continue to pursue, regardless if you decide not to wash your butt, not to brush your teeth, not to take care of your personal hygiene, not to grow and learn and embody anything. Like, basically, women think that if they stand still and don't go anywhere and continue to stay loyal, that men should continue to pursue. And unfortunately, we're going to focus on human nature and not Disney ideals. It is not true. So the more that you grow, learn, and embody, the more that you will find your relationship deepens, because that is a challenge. The more you inspire him by doing these things, sometimes by you just focusing on things that resonate you and light you up, that will challenge him alone. He will see that you're doing this thing, and then he may be challenged to go and try that for himself, or maybe learn about that more for himself, or maybe even you all doing it together. Maybe he may be challenged to go in for you all to work out together, or eat healthier together, or go to certain clubs, or go to certain places. You don't know what will be the thing that will do that. That is the reason why it is important that you continue to grow, learn, and embody, because it may be something small that kickstarts that when he feels like inspired to go find out more about that, or to get more involved with that, or to want to do it with you. But if you're not doing anything, there's nothing to observe. There's nothing to be inspired by. If you're just sitting around and you sitting in place, because some women do believe that, oh, he's in love with me, I can just sit in place and not go wash my butt and not take care of myself, and not learn anything new, don't improve my communication, don't improve my attraction and sexual intimacy. I don't have to do anything. He should still love me no matter what. And unfortunately, if he is consistently growing and learning, embodying for himself, he's growing and learning new things, and he's participating in life, and he's going places, he's doing things, you sitting here sitting still, you're immediately, no wonder you feel like there's a disconnection when y'all are not in an attunement or in a type of harmony, because he's going and growing and evolving. He's constantly going up, and you're sitting still. You've been sitting still with that same haircut for 10 years. You've been sitting still for 10 years in the same type of clothes. You've been sitting still in 10 years with the same information. You haven't moved. There's nothing to observe. There's nothing to pursue. Women have to give him something to pursue. Men are natural hunters. They like to pursue. It's a part of their DNA. If a man says he's not going to pursue you, babe, he don't want you. He don't like you like that. Go back to marry a provider in 2024. Maybe some of you all need that harsh language. It's going to give you the kick in the butt so you can get it together. So both parties, both people, both individuals should be constantly going and growing and learning and becoming the best version of themselves. And doing that, you may inspire him to become the best version of himself. You may inspire him to talk different. You may inspire him to dress differently. You may inspire him to go and try new things. But if you're not doing anything and you think the only way to challenge him is to be disagreeable or to mock him and make fun of him, then you're not doing it in a healthy manner. You're going to bring in more unhealthy behavior and unhealthy men. Yikes. Yes, that's what I said as soon as I seen it. And then these women have big platforms. They're teaching women to sit around with dirty booties. Like, hashtag clean booties matter. Like, where are we getting this information from? Like, just because your man is willing to go and do some strange things doesn't mean every man is that desperate. Doesn't mean every man is that desperate now. Be effing for real. Like, why are y'all supporting women who actually encourage the foolishness? Like, why are y'all supporting women who encourage you to sit around and sit in the same space for 10 years and just yell from the top of your lungs that you deserve to be loved? You deserve love, even though you're not washing your butt. You're not washing your butt. You're not changing your clothes. You're not taking care of yourself. Your standards have dropped. Now you're doing nothing but Netflixing and chilling. And y'all are allowing these women to grow and have big tail platforms. And they're encouraging you. That's how you're going to challenge a man. You're not giving him anything to challenge. Basically, you're challenging him to find a clean woman. You're challenging him to find a woman who cleans her butt. That's what you do. You're challenging a woman. You're challenging a man to go out here and get a woman that's going to clean her butthole. And it's sad. So y'all need to be fucking for real. Be for real, because it doesn't make sense. It's stupid. But I noticed that the more I be on TikTok, the more disgusted I get. What if you still go to nice restaurants, but he doesn't take you or offer? He's comfortable too. You just go by yourself or with friends and he sees that. If he's seeing you go out to restaurants and he's not interested in taking you out, what are you doing? What do you look like, sis? What is that beauty like? Now, I'm not saying he may not be interested anymore, but I want to know what you look like. I want to know how you carry yourself. I want to know, are you truly stepping? I want to know, are you really keep putting your best foot forward? I want to know, are you going out there looking like who done it? Like, what's going on? How are you looking when you leave the house? That's what I want to know. Because one of the things about men are super jealous. They're jealous. They're territorial. They like their own territory. They don't want to share. So if you're going out with your friends and he's seeing you go out with your friends and you're going out with Who Shot John, I think he's safe. I think he feels he's safe. He feels like maybe I don't have to do as much. She's safe. She's locked in. I don't have to do anything for her. I mean, y'all have to realize, I don't care how long you've been married. I've been married for 23 years, babe. The visual matters. Men are still visual creatures. Nothing has changed. He still loves to see me dressed up. He still loves for me to look good and smell good. He still loves all of that. So I want to know what you're looking like when you hit that front door. Because if you going out your friends and you looking good and you stepping, like, why he ain't pulling you to the room? Or why he ain't saying, look, you really want to go out with your friends? We can go over here. I can go and get us a reservation and we can go over here and do this. Like, why isn't he pulling you to the side? I want to know what you're looking like. Like, don't be scared. I'm going to give you the real. Because the information you see on social media, that's the reason why I only follow certain women. Because the women I follow, they legit. That's all I got to say. They would never give this bad advice. They just never would give this bad advice. Y'all are not going to be out here trying to step and challenge men and get the best high quality men with dirty booties. Not what the women I follow. There's no way. That's bad advice. Like, there literally was a trend on TikTok where women were in dirty nightgowns and talking about, yeah, I look like this, and he still hit it. Come on now, be effing for real. Y'all already know how men are. It doesn't mean that you have like an illogical man that's like chasing you and pursuing you and romancing you. It just means you have a horny man, and men are horny. They like to get laid. Let's be real. They like to get laid. They like to get them a little something, something. So yeah, I'm not saying he ain't hitting it, even with dirty booty. But I'm saying that when you want to be that woman that challenges him, you can't fall into these trends and start doing what you see these women doing on social media. You have to be different. You have to be yourself. Don't fall into this trap, because one of the things I have learned, the more that I have really invested in certain things, as you know, my focusing on things that really resonate and really light me up, he's been highly attracted to me. The more that I focused in, I think one year I focused in on beauty. I started up leveling my looks and doing my hair different and doing my makeup different and changing my outfits and, you know, playing with color. And then I started seeing that he's even more attracted. He's coming even more towards me. So you have to give men space to pursue you. If you give them nothing to work with, they have nothing to work with. If you have nothing going on, they have no reason to pursue you. Like, why would I pursue somebody who's sitting in the same space 10 years later? There's no reason for it. And then, especially 10 years later, and not washing your butt and with the same old nightgown that you had on when he left. Like, why would I do that? And I'm not saying you have to be perfect. Like, Lord knows you don't have to be perfect. I don't inspire to be perfect. I don't encourage to be perfect. But I do inspire to be clean and have a clean booty. Like, I think you should smell good still. I still think you should take time with yourself and make sure that, like, you're not falling back on the way that you want to live in your standards. Please don't do that. Don't listen to these women. He's just comfortable as well. He knows I'm coming home to him, or maybe he doesn't care. I look good when I go out and I always get approached, but he's just lazy and comfortable at home. Well, if I were you, I would not. See, the thing is, I'm not saying to go and do these things and totally look at him. See, one of the issues that I've noticed about women, and especially if they're in any type of commitment, they'll do a little bit of the things I tell them to do, but they're constantly looking at him to see if he changes. Your focus needs to be totally on you. Men can feel energetically that your focus is on him. You're waiting on a response from him. Don't wait on a response from him. Really get invested, and then going out with your friends and getting focused in on growing, learning, and embodying something new so you can update him. So what this is what I would say do. Just continue and see if anything changes. And I want to ask, before you even get into that, have you communicated anything with him? Like, have you said anything to him? Like, men are not good at guessing. Like, they're good at observing, and if they know you well enough, they may be able to guess. But should we have them guessing? No, we shouldn't have them guessing. Like, I don't believe in guessing. I don't believe in guessing. So I would say, have you communicated with him? Before you, like, what you're doing there is almost like desperate measures. Like, that's the desperate measures. Okay. So have you communicated with him? Go back to the video where I did big and bold communication. Go back, study that video, use those tips, and communicate with him. Big girl wipes. Girl, my gracious, it's crazy. It is crazy to think that you're challenging me. And anyway, I want to give you all who've been in like long-term commitments and marriages, y'all have to realize that if you haven't been doing something, don't expect it to happen or change overnight. Like, you're gonna probably have to kind of keep doing it a little bit in order to knock him out of that space where he's shut down and he's nonchalant about you. Maybe it's been going on too long and he checked out and he's no longer checking for you, basically. He's no longer observing you. Like, even when I'm in the room, me and my husband both be in the room. He has one eye on me still. Like, I noticed it the other day. I realized that I was sitting on the bed and he was at the computer. And when I got up, he still had one eye on me. He was still looking at me as I went to the restroom and went and sat back on the bed, because he is still illogical. He's still paying attention. He's still observing me. He still knows where I am. Even though I didn't realize, I was like, he really is still watching me. And some women would say, oh, well, with my husband, my man, he doesn't even know I'm there. He doesn't even pay attention to me. Well, that's because of the fact a lot of times you haven't challenged him, and you haven't, y'all gotten pretty comfortable with each other. And it's actually a normal thing. A lot of couples get comfortable with each other. And I'm not saying it to be saying it being comfortable is a bad thing, but it is a bad thing when there's no attraction, when there's no sex, when there's no intimacy, when there's no communication, when there's no dates, when there's no romance. Then it becomes problematic to the relationship. Because I don't know about you all, and I've always been very honest. I want it all. I want your wallet and I want your heart. So I want everything that comes with you. So if I start to see any of those things disappear, like I'm going to tell you this, and most people, I don't even know if I'm going to keep this video just because I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this because it's important. You need to hear it from someone who's been in a relationship for 23 years. If sex was to disappear from our marriage, I know a ring the alarm. There's something going on. There's a problem going on somewhere because it should not be disappearing. I don't care how long y'all been together. I don't care if you've been, unless something is broken, like broken, where it ain't operating no more. That's the only time sex should disappear from a relationship. It should not disappear. Like there's too many people that be in long-term commitment and relationship where the sex is gone. It left and it hasn't, it's not returning. And that's not normal. I'm telling you, that's not normal. That should still stay. So what I would do, if I were you, just attempt to try to see, give it some time. Give it some time. If I were out, give it some time, because things don't change overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day, especially if you have used multiple years of just being comfortable and not really, challenging. You haven't been challenging him. You haven't really did any of that work. And see, the work is for you. Like the thing is about really truly challenging a man, and when you challenge him, uh, when you challenge yourself, you challenge him and you update him. When you truly do that work, it's all about truly focusing on things that resonate with you. It's not really about him. That's the kicker. A lot of women think challenging him is about him. It's about getting him or controlling him or forcing him or communicating in a way where I can get what I want. It's not about him. I always told you all it's best to actually be in a relationship with a man who puts the rules on himself versus you try to put rules on him. So if he's comfortable, you can kick him out of that comfort by focusing more on, you can choose any of the things I've been mentioning in this video. You can focus in on beauty. You can focus in on self-worth. You can focus in on confidence. You can focus in on spirituality. You can focus in on education. You have so many things that you can grow, learn, and embody. And he's seeing you, this will update him. This will be like, oh, well, she's over here, getting more knowledge. Like she taught me something the other day. She taught me about something I didn't know. I didn't know about how birds are attracted to each other. I didn't know about how, these things happen. But now I know about it because she's inspired me. And maybe I need to get out here and become more knowledgeable. Maybe I need to get out here and, start growing and learning and becoming more embodied in things that resonate with me. And this is the reason why it's so important that you have a life. Like, don't dismiss your life. Just like this whole conversation about the single women versus the married women, stop it. Stop it. I have single women friends also, and they have not been a problem because they respect me and I respect them. So y'all have to stop engaging in places that actually encourage you it devises women. Like, stop engaging in those places because it's silly. All right, so YouTube is lasting longer. What's up? But if you want to challenge him, challenging him is actually through challenging yourself. So figure out things that you want to grow, learn, and embody. Figure out things that you want to focus in that resonate, that light you up. This will make you highly attracted to him, and him attracted to you. Because when a person is invested and embodied and in love with what they're doing, it lights them up anyway. And then people want to know more about it. If you want to bring him into you, you want to know more about the things you're doing. Now, of course, don't turn him into your best girlfriend. Like, he's not your girlfriend. Don't treat him as such. Don't dump on him every little thing that you're currently doing in the day. Why? Because you want to give him that space to pursue you. There's no reason to pursue you, there's no reason to observe you. And if there's no reason to observe you, what happens is, especially when you tell him everything, there is no reason to observe, to see what's going on in your life, to get updated by what's going on with you. So you have to give men space to pursue you. And so you have to give him that space by focusing on yourself. You don't necessarily do weird and wild things to challenge a man. If you want to see him get rid of a man fast, start mocking him and making fun of him. And you want to get rid of a man fast, start being disagreeable and being disagreeable just to be disagreeable, or just being aloof just to be aloof, just to appear interesting when you're not. They challenge him in ways where your relationship will grow versus your relationship devolving. Oh, I might have fixed Instagram unintentionally. I think I figured out what was wrong with it. So the chat is open for questions. So if you have some questions, go ahead and drop them. But we're not, if you want to challenge him, you're not challenging him by being silly. Y'all, some of y'all didn't like some of the things I said in one of the other videos. Y'all like, you didn't like me calling women whiny broads. Okay, I won't call you whiny broads, but I will say this. It's not interesting. It's not challenging when you are insecure or you lack self-confidence or self-esteem, when you lack the ability to articulate and communicate. It's not challenging when you don't like intimacy or any type of sex. It's not challenging for any of those things. So you're not going to challenge him in that way. Like, y'all have to come upon more healthier ways. And I just gave you some healthier ways that you can challenge him, because challenging him is really challenging yourself. And the more you challenge yourself, the more that you will update him, the more that he will see that you're working on this, see that you're learning this, seeing that you're growing and seeing that you're becoming more embodied and become more interested in you. Why would I be interested in someone who's standing still for 10 years? I'm not going to be interested with someone who's doing the same thing every single day for the next 10 years, who's not learning anything, who's not being embodied, who is not growing or becoming a better woman. There's nothing interesting. There's nothing to pursue. There's nothing to observe. So you get mad because he's nonchalant and he's pulled away, but you're not giving him any space or anything to pursue. And men desire something to pursue. They're hunters by nature. They want to pursue you. They want to romance you. They want to take care of you. They want to be there for you. They want to provide for you. They want to protect you. But you have to give them something to work with. Don't give them the foolishness that you see on social media. Just because it's popular, just because everybody's coming in and sharing it and saying, that's the truth, sis, doesn't mean it is the truth. Take it from someone who had, or you don't have to take it from me. I think that if there's any other women that's in my live stream, that you have a healthy, long-term commitment, a great relationship with the man, you already know mocking him and making fun of him is not challenging him. Like making fun of what he's wearing or the way he speaks or where he works at or how he is, that is not challenging him. You're not doing anything but challenging him to find another woman. That's all you're challenging him to do. That's as much as you're challenging him to do. Being super aloof and uninterested and he can't tell that you are interested, it just causes confusion. So all these little petty games that you all are big up in and you're telling that girl, go sis, you know men. No, she don't. She don't know men because she know men. Or maybe she know toxic and healthy men. If you want one of those, go follow that advice. Go follow the toxic, unhealthy advice out here, and you're going to attract a toxic, unhealthy man. That's all it is to it. Go follow the women who tell you the only way to challenge a man is to be yourself and don't wash your booty. And I'll never forget the trend. I can't get the trend out of my head. How women thought that was so life-changing and transforming. Like, really? For real? Not washing your booty? Having stinking kitty is supposed to be challenging a man? No, it's challenging him to go get a woman who's going to wash her butt. That's all it's going to challenge him to do. You challenge a man by challenging yourself. That is the easiest way to sum this up, this entire video. You do not challenge him by doing silly mess. All you're going to do is push away a man. And what did I tell y'all about 2024? We're going all the way in. We're going to go ahead and marry that provider that God is caring for us, that God is illogical for us, that God is taking care of us, the guy that looks at us as though the sun sets on us. That's the guy we want. That's the guy we desire. We want that guy. And so that's the guy we're wanting to come to us in 2024. We don't want the other men who are shut down, nonchalant, don't care, not interested, don't like us. We don't want those guys. But you don't challenge him by talking at him. You don't challenge. Communication is really not even the best way to challenge him. If you want to challenge a man, become the best version of a woman that you want to be. That will challenge him. That will also inspire him. Now, we also only focus in on healthy men, not unhealthy ones. You got an unhealthy, toxic man, I am not your girl. I have a healthy, masculine provider of 23 years. I don't know anything about toxic men, and those are not the men that I speak to. So I'm going to open any more questions. Hey, Lola, Marcel. So if we have questions, go ahead and drop them down below. And I still have Instagram going. Whoa, I don't know what happened. I guess I fixed Instagram. I'm happy about that. So now we can come back to doing some more Instagram live streams. So if you have questions, drop them down either on Instagram or YouTube, and I will answer them. Okay, so I got one from Instagram. It says, I'm so shy in front of men. How do I break out of that? Babe, this can be inner work. This can be inner work. Usually, being shy around men, this can be inner work. I can't really help you fully on this video to start not being shy around men, because there's something about a woman that is so confident in her body and in the skin that she in. It's so beautiful. So being around men, especially if you're not used to being around men, because I think a lot of us, and some of you all can speak to this experience, a lot of us did not have that experience of dating or, learning about men or understanding about men. Actually, some households encourage women not to ever engage or be around men. And so that created this space where you're shy around them. And see, one of the things you got to change your mindset when it comes to men. Men are just human. They they desire some of the same things that we want. They still want a commitment. They still want to be with someone that loves them. They still want loyalty. They still want some of the same things. I think you want to make sure that you kind of look at them as not as human. The more human that you make a man, the easier it is to kind of have conversation with him. To be around them, especially if you didn't grow up being around them. Maybe you don't have a lot of brothers. Maybe you grew up in a household where they told you no boys, don't be around boys. You can't go on dates, or they even wouldn't let you date underneath their roof. Okay, and so that creates that. So it's definitely inner work. I would say inner work. Please tell me what I can do to challenge myself. Sorry, maybe I logged in on late. Can you give an example, please? Well, every single year I create a challenge for myself. I figure out what I can grow and learn and embody in. Right now, I'm kind of focused in on feminine spirituality. And in 2025, I'm going to actually focus more in on feminine spirituality, business, and I want to deepen more intimacy with the husband. So you have to figure out the things that resonate and align with you, things that make you feel really good and light you up. You want to kind of focus in on that and grow and learn and embody it. That is what you're going to have to do. I do this every single year. And sometimes I might decide I haven't gotten enough of that. I want more. So maybe I might, one time, I know I started this when I was age of 25 years old. I decided I wanted to do, before you all were talking about level up on social media, I realized I needed to level up at 25. My hair was the same, my makeup was the same, and my skin had changed, so my makeup looked off. And I was like, I need to do something about this. So I just kind of like dived head first into beauty. I started learning about foundations. Now I can match myself and I don't have to go to a professional, because I did so much and I just really absorbed everything I can about beauty and makeup and hair. And now I know how to do a lot of my hairstyles. A lot of my hair I do myself, because of the fact that I really, when I'm into something and it really makes me feel good and it really resonates with me, I just dive head first into it. So you have to find something that feels good to you and challenge yourself to go in, just go all the way in with it. And those things, you will be so surprised how many people will be attracted to you based off you, being embodied and leveled up. People will be like, what is she doing? You know, what is she spend? How is she spending her time? Why does she look like that? How is she talking differently? How is she walking differently? So figure out what resonates, what lights you up, what's going to be the best thing for you to challenge yourself, because you need to challenge yourself. This is a part of becoming a better woman. The investing in yourself, becoming a better woman, you will never lose on that investment. You will never lose on that investment. And that investment also will encourage and improve your relationship, because he's seeing you're not standing still. Like, and that's also somewhat inspirational for a lot of people. When they see people up level, oh, she done lost 5 pounds. What's she doing? Let me go and figure out how she eating, how she exercising. What is she doing to look so good? Why her skin glowing? It attracts people and brings people to you. You don't have to do weird things or strange things to get attention when you're constantly investing in yourself and your own embodiment. But you have to find things that challenge you and something you can be engrossed in and get leveled up and embodied with it. You don't know how many people may be inspired just by your journey. So you can focus on so many things. I focused 1 year on finances. Like, did I tell you all I'm multi-talented? I know how I can trade stocks also. Did I tell y'all that? I don't know. I have never mentioned it because this is a relationship page and not a money page. But I know a lot about stocks. I really got settled in and cracked down on learning about finances. So I really wanted to learn about investments and how do you invest in, what's the investment tools I can use and how I can grow my money and how I can utilize the money that my husband gives me and make sure that it's multiplying. So I want to know how to do that. So I invested time and energy and courses and coaches to figure that out. And I'm happy I did. It's one of the best investments I ever had. So that's the reason why I'm going to tell you all my eggs will never be in all in one basket. Your girl gonna be owning property soon, because that's where we going, like real estate. But that's because of the fact I took that time to really invest in learning about finances. And Lola, I already know you invest in finance. I already know you invest in property. So you know how to challenge yourself. Just like you challenge yourself in investing in properties, baby girl, go and challenge yourself in investing in yourself and learn and grow about other things. It's the same technique. And I just utilize it to become a better woman. And me becoming a better woman, it updates him. Like, he sees me doing these things and then he gets more interested. Like, he's always like, my husband is very old fashioned, old school. He's more the type of guy that likes to put the money in the savings and be able to see it. But me learning about finances and learning about investment tools, now he wants to know more about these things instead of, and I don't teach him, because you can't don't teach a man. That's another thing. Don't try to go in teacher mode and kill your polarity. I don't teach him. I just give him the information and let him have at it. I don't sit here and be like, oh, well, this is what I learned here. No. I'm not your teacher. I'm not your teacher. I'm just going to give it to you. And you can have the same information that I learned from. And if then we can have really good conversations about that information. And then we can talk about it and we can figure out, okay, well, is there any of this that maybe we possibly can use? But that's how you update him. That's how you inspire him to want to do different things. You don't do it by just yelling at him or telling him this is what you should be doing. But you challenge him by challenging yourself and becoming the better woman for it. And the more that you do that, the more that you will attract people to you. People will want to know what you're doing. They will want to know how you're spending your time. They will see the things happening for you and want to get closer to you. Do you have a money page? I love to see. I don't have a money page. I don't have a money page. Like, I'm still trying to focus on these pages. I'm still trying to focus on growing these pages. So I figured I don't want to put more on me than I have time for, or that I'm not willing to sacrifice my relaxed time for more time to create more content. So I don't have a second page yet. But there's so many things that I focused in on the years, and me, getting embodied in that thing and him seeing me do it, it updated him. It made him aware of the things that he wasn't aware of. That's how you challenge a man. You don't challenge him by being a chicken head or going off and just being disagreeable, be disagreeable. You don't challenge him by being a stinky booty. You don't challenge him by going your status 59 minutes. It still got me, but I got my 59 minutes back. Instagram's about to end. So you got 23, 21 seconds before it's gone. And if you want to finish up, go to YouTube. The link is in the stories. But you don't challenge him by doing the things that you see on social media. Only thing you're going to end up doing is either challenging that man to find somebody else. And if that's okay with you, maybe he's not worth it. Maybe he's not the guy. Maybe he is not that guy for you. If you're okay with it, you're okay with it. But challenge him by becoming a better version of yourself. Challenge him by encouraging yourself to continue to be better. Like some of us, we're doing it anyway, we don't realize it. The more that you're in spaces of learning, the spaces of growth, spaces of, being better and becoming a woman and focusing on womanhood, even that is focusing in on something that inspires you and it's helping you become a better woman from it. You don't even realize it. Maybe you're changing about how you approach things or how you talk about things or how you present yourself or how your feminine brand is. But you're changing things just by being on this page. Because I know this page, what I created this page for, it was to help you, to add value to your life so that you can get the provider that you desire to have, the type of men that you want to be with and the father of your children. But you challenge him by becoming the best version of yourself. That's how you challenge him. He sees that and he's inspired by it. What a good way to bring up what you're learning in front of him without it seeming like you're trying to teach him. You can always say, babe, I ran across this. Like, let me just give you this. I'm going to go ahead and text you this link. Like, I ran across this. This will blow your mind. I guess you can see I've already done a lot, right? And if it's something really like, maybe it's something about intimacy or about sex, then you try to make sure that if you're close with friends or his friends or whatever, let them send it to him. But you want to make sure that you're like, hey, this is going to blow your mind. Send me a link or send him the stuff. So you don't have to teach it. You don't ever kill your polarity by trying to turn into his teacher. Men like to learn from men. And I'm not saying they won't learn from you because they learn from you in observation, but they don't like to have it communicated. That's the reason why I say the best way for a man to be updated is to observe, for him to observe you, to see what you're doing, to see how you handle life, see how you interact, see how you communicate, to see how you carry yourself, to see where you're going. But if you're standing still, there isn't anything to observe. Therefore, there isn't anything to challenge. You're not giving him anything, and you have to give him something. The best relationships are the ones where they grow and evolve. The healthy ones is where they grow and evolve and they become better. He should become a better man and you should become a better woman. But if you're stuck in your own way and believing that nothing's going to work or you've done everything or everything has not worked out for you, being stuck in your own way is going to be to your own detriment. So do we have any other questions? Because we've already been going about an hour. Challenge him by becoming a better version of yourself. Challenge him by becoming better. Let him see you become better. And watch him be updated by you becoming better. Either he's updated by maybe I need to become more fashion forward. Maybe I need to change my clothes because look at my wife. She looks gorgeous. Maybe I need to go get my hair cut more because of the fact, look at her. She's always taking care of herself. Maybe I need to go back to school and get that next degree because my wife is so knowledgeable. She knows so much. She's always coming across some new and fresh information. Maybe I need to dig into my self-confidence and my own communication. Maybe I need to do that because look at my wife. She is blowing it out the park, baby. She communicates well. She knows how to speak to me. Maybe I need to do better at how I speak to her. Men are influenced by women. And since they're influenced by women, They're updated by women also. They're inspired by women also. So they want to do things to improve and be better, but you have to give them something to work with. If you're not giving them anything to work with, there's nothing to observe. There's nothing to do better. It's not helping if you're sitting over here looking at him talking about he need to be better, that he need to go out here and be better and do better and try new things. But you're not trying anything. You're not trying anything. You're not doing anything different. You're still in the same space you was 10 years ago. The weird thing about this, the way that you challenge him is by challenging yourself. And this is not from a book. Like, I know social media is plenty of people reading from books. This is not from a book. This is from personal experience. This is from my own life. Me seeing how this works. Me coming in and focusing on hearing him in the very beginning of thinking he needs to change. He needs to do better. He needs to try something different. But not doing nothing myself. Sitting in the same space that I've known and that he's seen me in for 5 years, but not doing anything. There wasn't anything for him to be inspired by or for him to want to observe. There's nothing for him to be challenged by because I wasn't doing anything. And when I realized it, because the thing about books is that sometimes they don't relate well to real life. That's the hard thing. And so when I was reading books, I kept reading books. And all of them kept suggesting that I communicate this. And no matter what, the communication wasn't working. It wasn't working because I didn't know at that time that the way that I was doing it was not going to be communicated anyway. So I didn't know at that time. So I had to learn everything I know now. I had to do it with stilettos on the ground. I had to get the personal experience. I had to learn this because they don't teach you this. They teach you to do little things to get a man, to challenge a man, to say stuff, to mock him, or to joke about his opinions, or joke about his beliefs, or to make him feel bad about himself, or just to be aloof and be disinterested. They teach you all these little tricks, but these things don't challenge anybody. They just challenge him to find another woman that is a grown woman, a woman who's willing to become a better version of herself so that he can be challenged. Because men actually desire a challenge. It's in the challenge that you inspire his masculine energy. So that's the reason why it's so important that you give him one. So you have to give him a challenge, or you're going to find that your relationship is going to be really dry. It's going to lack the intimacy. It's going to lack the sex. It's going to lack the romance. It's going to lack the communication. It's going to lack the connection. And you're going to see that happening. You're going to be like, what happened? At one time, I couldn't even go to the grocery store without him wanting to go with me. I couldn't even point at something without him wanting to go buy it. But now he's kind of like in his comfort zone. It's like he's shut down. It's like he's nonchalant about me. You have to challenge him. It's in the challenge that his masculine energy is raised. You inspire him in that way. All right, so I'm gonna give you all a moment to drop your questions or any questions that you want to drop. I want to make you aware that we still have, I have memberships. The membership links are in the chat. Now, the membership will be going up in 2025. So if you aren't a member, you better become a member, okay? Because the membership is worth it. We have our Co-Creator Mastermind, where I'm going to be teaching from the feminine energy of abundance. At one point, I only wanted to focus in on money in the mastermind, but I realized, guess what? If you're going to be in the feminine energy, you can bring about abundance. You can have abundance in your relationship too. You can have a healthy, happy commitment, divine union. So I'm going to also include in the Co-Creator Mastermind, where instead of you just focusing in on money, we're going to focus in on bringing your imagination and making it your reality. We're going to teach you how to create that. So that is in the chat also, and that goes up January the 1st. So if you want to go ahead and secure your spot, get that spot secured, because you know how I am. I love my intimate spaces. It has been freaking me out that my page is wrong, but I'm getting over it, because I realized that in order for the message to get out, the page has to grow. I can't stop the page. And I thought about maybe I meant to offend people so that I can stop the page to grow. Like, this is self-awareness. This is me knowing myself very well. knowing I love intimate spaces. I imagine my YouTube being just a place where I just talk with my friends, and we talk about men, and we talk about money, and we talk about things that's going to improve our lives and add value to it. So I didn't realize that sometimes you sabotage things when you are trying to keep yourself little. But I'm learning that it's better to just let it go and surrender and let it be. And it's going to do whatever it needs to do. And it's reaching a whole nother group of women. And so I'm enjoying that. I mean, I'm looking at the good side of it, reaching women so that they can, change their mindset and deal with men in a different way. But you're challenging him through challenging yourself. Like you don't, especially if you want long term. Like if you don't want long term, and you just want to trigger him, you already know if that man turns around and chases you based off you mocking him or making him feel less than a man, that is a man that's unhealthy, and that is not going to go in the direction that you wanted to go. My page, I focus on only healthy men, like healthy men that are masculine providers. So I don't see anything in the chat. Shawana, hey. I don't see anything in the chat. I don't see any other questions in the chat. You all, so I'm going to go ahead and close out. I appreciate you all for being here all the way to the end. Thank you for my Inner Circle members. Thank you for supporting the page, Pedestal Wives. I will see you all on the next one. You all have a happy, Merry Christmas. And I'm not saying that like I'm not going to do another video, but I don't know why. I kind of got like forgot to a certain degree that it is Christmas. Christmas in my household is every day. So, I kind of forgot that it's like a national holiday. So I gotta wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Well, thank you for all your beautiful wisdom today. You're welcome, Lola. And I will see you all in the next one. Y'all have a good day. Bye.